A minute, you guys. Just sending the link out to people. Okay. Okay. What a weekend for college football we had. Wow. It was insane what we had for games. Like, Ohio State, Oregon lived up to the hype. Texas dominated Oklahoma. USC gave Penn State a game. Drew Aller looked like crap. Tennessee almost lost to Florida. Like, Ole Miss, what happened? LSU beats Ole Miss. There's so much happened this past week in week 7. It's crazy to think about. Like, the games that we had this weekend were insane. I was glued to the TV. Didn't take my eyes off the TV at all. Was great games, back and forth games, and it was amazing to watch. I can't lie. I was really happy with the games and just think that this weekend's going to be better. This weekend has better games. That is the craziest thing to think about, that this upcoming week, Saturday, we have better games than last week. This week is stacked. But let's talk about last week. Let's talk about the Ohio State-Oregon game. Talk about how Oregon, people were counting Oregon out. I was one of them. I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't believe in Gabriel. I really didn't. I can't lie to you guys. I didn't believe in Gabriel. But, wow, he impressed me. 23 for 34, 341 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, and 32 yards on the ground, and a rushing touchdown. Gabriel did his thing. Now, the question that after this game I have now is, should Dylan Gabriel be in the Heisman talk now? Should he be top 3 in the Heisman talk? Because in my opinion, Cam Ward should be out. Cam Ward should be out of the playoffs. Or not playoffs, should be out of the Heisman talk. Especially the way his team has performed around him. I don't think Cam Ward deserves to be in the Heisman talk. I feel like the top 3 should go Ashton Jeanty, which we'll get into later in the show, talking about Ashton Jeanty, how he is must-see TV. But I think should go Ashton Jeanty, Travis Hunter, number 2, and then 3, Dylan Gabriel. And then 4, maybe Milrow. Maybe. I don't know. But I feel like Dylan Gabriel performed well. And yes, we saw the Oregon offense that we've been waiting to see. Their defense was performing. They shut down Ohio State's running game. They shut down Quinshon Judkins, Travion Henderson. They shut them down. Judkins only had 23 yards, averaged 2.1 per carry. Yes, he had a touchdown, but 2.1 per carry for Judkins is horrible. His long was a 6-yard run. Travion Henderson had 87 yards, but his long was 53. So he had that one 53-yarder, and then after that, he wasn't doing much. That one big play for Travion Henderson got his average good, 8.7 yards per carry. But the Ohio State run game that I've seen perform in the last couple of weeks did not show up. There was nothing. It was kind of bad. Well, yes, they totaled 141 total yards. They did. And they had 2 touchdowns. I mean, it was only a 14 yard difference between Oregon rushing and them. But Oregon was doing it through the air, was doing it on the ground too. They were averaging 5 yards per carry. That's huge right there. 5 yards, big chunk plays by Jordan James every single run. 5 yards. They were just beating Ohio State. And Oregon football, they controlled the game, I got to say. I feel like Oregon did control that game. And it was really impressive to watch Oregon beat Ohio State in Eugene. It lived up to the hype, and I believe that they had their peak viewership was 13.4 million views on this game. That is insane amount of views for a college football game. That is unheard of, especially a regular season game. That's not an SEC game. It was a Big Ten game. Oregon, Ohio State, Big Ten. Yes, it still feels crazy saying Oregon is a Big Ten team, but Jeremiah Smith, the freshman, number 4 for Ohio State, did his thing. He had 100 yards, 9 receptions, 1 touchdown. But the difference maker for Oregon was Evan Stewart. 7 receptions, 149 yards, 1 touchdown. Terrence Ferguson, the tight end for Oregon, stepped up with his 4 receptions, 62 yards. They did what they had to do, and they got the W. Oregon now, I believe, is 2. Ohio State fell to... I got to look again. Let me look at the rankings. But wow, what a game though. It was an amazing game. I got to say that though. It was one of the best games of the year so far, and I'm hype about it. And I can't wait to see. Now that puts the pressure on Ohio State. And now it puts the pressure on Ohio State to perform. Can Ohio State perform? Can Ohio State get done what they need to get done? They have to win out, in my opinion. I feel like Ohio State has to win out. Ohio State fell to 4. It fell 2 positions. Penn State jumped ahead of them. And if I'm being completely honest, I don't even think Penn State should be 3. I don't think Penn State should have moved up at all with their performance. Drew Aller didn't do anything. He had 3 interceptions. He looked terrible, in my opinion. I feel like Drew Aller didn't look good. He was 30 for, yes, he had 391 yards, but he had 3 interceptions. It wasn't good. If it wasn't for Tyler Warren, the tight end for Penn State, who had 17 receptions. Yes, you heard me correct. 17 receptions. Aller only had 30 total completions. 17 of those were to Warren. That is insane right there. 224 yards for Warren. 1 touchdown. He was the difference maker in this game. And I got to give USC credit. They did better than I thought they would do against Penn State. They really did. I thought the way Penn State's been playing lately, Penn State's been really good. But the way USC showed up to play, they gave them a game. They forced them until the end of the game. They forced them to go to overtime. Then USC, things didn't go their way. Another heartbreaking loss for USC in overtime. Crappy way to lose, but let's see how they bounce back. Let's see USC. Who do they play next? Who has USC got next? Let's see. Can they bounce back good here? Or will they have another challenge? Will it be another... They got Maryland next, the 19th. Or they have Maryland at Maryland this upcoming week. That should be a W right there for them. They should bounce back nicely, go to 4-3. They're out. USC is officially out of the playoff. They have 3 losses now. There's no way they were going to make it. And all 3 losses were in the Big Ten. They're 1-3 in the Big Ten so far this year. That is horrible. But are they going to fire Lincoln Riley? Are they? I think so, because he hasn't been performing. Yes, he has the Heismans. Yes, he has that. But other than the Heismans, what does Lincoln Riley have going for him? What does he have going for him? Except for those 5 Heismans. Or it's 5 or it's 5 or 6. I forgot which one. But what else does he have going for him other than those things? Nothing really. In my personal opinion, he has really nothing else going for him. Then, yeah, I just feel like Penn State, good win, 6-0 now. They're 4 now in the country. And I believe they go and play... Who do they play now? They have a hard game, I believe. Who is it? They have at Wisconsin. And Wisconsin just came off of a very dominating performance against Rutgers. So, can they get another W? Then they have Ohio State after Wisconsin. So that could be the season. That could be if they beat Ohio State, Penn State versus Oregon in the Big Ten championship would be insane. I know that I believe Indiana's up there too. Indiana has Nebraska this week, so that could tell their season. If Indiana beats Nebraska, that would be huge. But I don't know. I don't know about that game yet. More than likely, I'll be telling you guys throughout the week who I got for this upcoming week's games. I know we have some tonight. We have the Conference USA tonight. Games that they're not even great matchups. Not at all. Like, it could be so many better matchups tonight. I can't wait till week 11 when we have the MAC. Week 11 we have MAC start on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and those are the best games in my opinion to watch because you get random weather, you get crazy weather, and it's awesome to watch. It really is. Then let's talk about Texas dominating Oklahoma. Oklahoma is injured. They are so injured it's not even funny, and I do feel bad for them. I feel so bad for Oklahoma because they don't have the players right now because they're all injured. All of their players are injured right now, and it's not a good thing to see. It really isn't. I think it's 4 or 5 of their wide receivers are out. Right there, it hurts. And you have a true freshman quarterback who didn't do terrible. It's just he doesn't have weapons around him. They're all injured. Oklahoma is injured. Oklahoma, if they weren't injured and had all their players, I think this game is going to be a much better game because I really wasn't impressed with Quinn Ewers. Really wasn't impressed with Texas. I really wasn't. And I feel like Texas in that Texas-Georgia game this upcoming week is going to be insane. I can't wait to see how Texas is. Like, I can't wait to see that. On how good is Texas? How good are they? We're going to find out when they play. People are saying, oh, Oklahoma's this, Oklahoma is that. Okay. But now this is their biggest challenge. They got Georgia. Number 5, Georgia. And Georgia is hungry for a victory to show that they aren't that bad. That they did, especially with the way Alabama's been playing. Oh, heck no. Alabama's been struggling. Alabama back-to-back lost to Vanderbilt last week. Now this week, they got this past week, or 2 weeks ago, they lost to Vanderbilt. This week, they go play South Carolina at home. At home. Not even on the road. At least the Vanderbilt loss was in Vanderbilt. Even though I think that there was more Alabama fans than Vanderbilt fans at that damn game. But South Carolina loses. They had this game. This was a great game. Better game than it should have been. Alabama should not have been in a game with South Carolina. Especially the way after that loss they had to Vanderbilt. You would expect them to come out pissed. You would expect them to come out mad. They just lost to Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt, I'm all for Vanderbilt this year. I can't wait. I hope Vanderbilt makes a bowl. I hope Vanderbilt pulls the unthinkable and beats Texas too when they play them in 2 weeks. Or it's 2 or 3 weeks. I forgot which one. But I hope that they do that. I can't wait to see that. And Alabama's struggling. Like, struggling very bad too. And it's something to look at now. Is Alabama really a top 10 team in the country? Are they? Because they haven't performed with it. Milroe had 2 interceptions and 1 touchdown. Their run game wasn't going. Only 104 yards, averaging 2.7 per carry. That is horrible. I mean, horrible. Horrible. And if you are a South Carolina fan, you got to be happy for next year. You got to be happy for what's coming your way. South Carolina is going to be insane the next couple of years. They are so damn young, and they're giving these top teams great games. Lenore Sellers, he had 2 fumbles. That was the killer right there. 2 lost fumbles. They had 3 total fumble losses. South Carolina, that is horrible. They got to do better with that. But I feel like with South Carolina, I feel like there's a lot you can take out of this game and a lot that they can take out of this year. It's a year where they're proving that they can be a team that can compete with the top teams in the SEC, and they're young. Their wide receiving core is basically all freshmen and sophomores. Their defense is freshmen and sophomores, and they have a couple seniors in there sprinkled in that help the veterancy. But they're so young. They're recruiting great too. And it's amazing to see South Carolina. I mean, next week, let's see who South Carolina plays next week. Who do they play next week? They got Texas A&M next week. Texas A&M's on a roll now. Texas A&M has been on a roll. They're first in the SEC. They're 3-0 in the conference play. They're 5-1 overall. I can't wait to see that game. Can they give them? Can that be the upset? Can that be an upset right there? The one that they've been looking for. They've been so close. LSU lost by 3. Alabama lost by 2. The Ole Miss game, they did get destroyed. But if I'm correct, I believe Lenore Sellers wasn't playing in that game. If I'm correct. I could be wrong. Oh, no, he did play in that game. Oh, I was wrong. So then that's the crazy part about the SEC is how... And not just SEC this year, the whole college football landscape is crazy this year, where you have these teams where every conference seems even now. Every conference seems even. You have Arizona State, who is 5-1, just beat number 16 Utah last week on Friday. Oregon just beat Ohio State. USC's competing with Penn State. You have Florida, who is, we all know it's Florida. They're not good this year. They're struggling. They were struggling all year, and then they give a 6-point game. They force Tennessee to go to overtime. That it's just how the SEC or how the college football layout is this year. It's insane to watch. Is anyone can win. I know that's how it is all the time. Anyone can win on any given Sunday or any given Saturday. But I feel like this year that saying is so true. It's not even funny. Any team can win this any week. If they show up to play, they can win. And it's been shown, not just the SEC, not just the Big 10, the Big 12, the ACC. People are saying, oh, Virginia Tech this. Well, Virginia Tech lost to Vanderbilt first game, and then they bounced back. I forgot who the heck they beat. It was a weird one they beat. And I remember, who did Virginia Tech beat that caught me by surprise? Oh no, they didn't. They destroyed Stanford, which kind of expected. But they gave Rutgers and Miami great games. It's just crazy to think about how this landscape is this year, how college football is this year. It's intense to see that anyone can win. Like, it really is. Anyone can win at any given time. And let's talk about this Ole Miss LSU game. Ole Miss, this is insane. It was a back and forth game, back and forth, went to overtime. Back and forth. Kyron Lacey got the game-winning touchdown. But what a game. And I got to say, though, Trey Harris dropped 2 balls thrown to him that he should have caught. He should have caught those. One of them, he was wide open in the middle of the field. Down the field, it was perfect. Perfect throw. Dropped it. Beginning of the game. And then at the end of the game, he had another one. Those 2 were huge drops for Ole Miss. And I just need to see better from them. In my honest opinion, we need to see better from Ole Miss. Their star players, Trey Harris. Yes, he had 102 yards, but those 2 drops were huge. Then Henry Parrish Jr. wasn't doing nothing. It was Bentley. Usilas Bentley, the 4th that stepped up, had 107 yards, 1 touchdown. Like, Ole Miss, are they out of the playoff now? They have 2 losses. Say they win out. So, say Ole Miss wins out. That means they would have to beat Oklahoma, Arkansas, Georgia, Florida, and Mississippi State. If they beat Georgia now, do they get in the playoffs? Say they win out. Do they get into the playoff? Is the question. There's so many questions now because everyone's losing. I don't think you're going to have a undefeated team at the end of this season. In anything, I feel like you're going to see every team's going to have a loss this year because how even the playing field is. It's insane to see. It's an even playing field. And let's talk about the best running back in the country now. I've been waiting to talk about him since I started this live. I can't wait. Ashton Jeanty is insane, you guys. Ashton Jeanty for Boise State. 126 carries. Mind you, this is through 6 games, you guys. 6 games. 6 damn games. He has 126 yards. Or carries. 1,248 yards, 17 touchdowns. You guys, that is insane. 17 touchdowns, 9.9 average per rush. And people can't say that it wasn't against talent, it wasn't against competition, because when he played against Oregon, he had 3 touchdowns, 192 yards, and 25 carries. His long was a 70-yard run against Oregon. Against Washington State, he had 4 rushing touchdowns, 259 yards, and 26 carries. Against competition, he performs crazy well. And 2, yes, he's played 6 games, but 2 of the games he sat out the second half. So that means he's played a total of 5 games. Technically, if we're going to go by, because he didn't play a half, technically he's played 5 games, has over 1,200 rushing yards. That is insane. But it is the committee. He is my Heisman for the rest of the year. I don't care what anybody says. He's my Heisman. But watch the committee, watch the college football, give it to someone else, like a Dylan Gabriel, a Travis Hunter, which I'm not saying they don't deserve it, but the numbers that Ashton Jeanty is putting up is insane, and it's insane. That's the best way. It's just insane that what he's doing, how he's doing it. It's just amazing to see. If I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys, it's must-see TV. Every time he's on, every single game that he's on, I am gonna watch it. Every single game that Boise State plays, I'll watch it because it's entertaining. Because you don't know if he's gonna break. You know that this first tackle, no one's tackling him. This week they have a bye week this week, so you can't watch him this week. But next week he comes back against, which could be their season. If they beat UNLV. UNLV is in second in the Mountain West. It's between those 2 teams to win the Mountain West. Boise State and UNLV. It's a 10:30 game on Saturday. I will be up watching that game, glued to my TV, because it's going to be a shootout. Jeanty's going to run crazy. We're going to see the Rebels of UNLV go crazy too. I can't wait for that game. And Jeanty, people need to start they got to start putting some respect on Jeanty's damn name, in my personal opinion. I feel like he's been getting disrespected to people saying, oh, he's not going to win Heisman because of the competition. Yes, correct. But if you look at his stats and you look at the numbers, he, against big-name teams, Power 5 teams, he put up what he had to put up against. He put the numbers up that he had to put up in good numbers, crazy good numbers against an Oregon team, which we were talking about, I was talking about earlier, who stopped that Ohio State rushing attack. He put up literally 200 yards. If I was, I said, yeah, no, 192 yards. He was 8 yards off from 200 yards against Oregon, a team that just beat Ohio State, and shut down that offense. And he still put up numbers. 3 touchdowns for Jeanty. That's insane right there. But then we have Kansas State. Let's talk about this Kansas State-Colorado game. And I got to say, I was caught off guard by Colorado. I didn't expect Colorado to give them that good of a game. I really didn't expect Colorado to give them that good of a game. Colorado balled out. They did. I got to say, they didn't run it at all. They were negative 29 for rushing yards. They didn't run it. They were passing all passing. But what a game that we had. DJ Giddens was the difference maker. If we're going to be completely honest, he was the difference maker. 182 yards, 25 carries. Yes, he didn't have a touchdown, but he did what he had to do when he had to do it. He was the difference maker. Avery Johnson, 15 for 23, 224 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. I mean, Shador had 388 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. This game was insane. I really thought Colorado was about to come back and pull off the upset. I really did. I thought they were going to, but Kansas State held their ground and didn't let them do it. And I'm hyped about it. It was amazing to see how Kansas State showed that they they have the heart. And Colorado showed they got the heart too. Both these teams wanted that win so badly. Kansas State got it. They won by 3. Great win right there for Kansas State. Now, I want to see how Colorado responds to that loss. How will Colorado respond to that loss? How will they respond? If they win out, will they get in the playoffs still? Are they still in the playoff talks? Are they? This week they're going to Arizona. That's a big game. Arizona has not had a good year this year. They're kind of mad. They lost a lot of things. So now can they bounce back with that? Bounce back with the victory, or Arizona get the best of them? It's something that is entertaining to see, and it's going to be very entertaining to watch. Like I said, this upcoming weekend for college football is so insanely good. If you don't have work on Saturday, you got to be watching these games from 12 p.m. on. And Friday night, we get an Oklahoma State versus BYU game. It's going to be insane. But I feel like with everything going on in college football, a team that's surprising a lot of people that I feel like is amazing is Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, led by Desmond Reed and Eli Holston. It's been amazing. There's someone that's a sleeper. Could they make the ACC championship game? I think last time they made it, they played someone like, I remember last time they made it, I forgot who they played against, but it was when Kenny Pickett was there. Right now, they just got to go. The only 2 teams that are above them is Miami and Clemson. Miami's more than likely going to lose sooner than later. Does Pitt play Miami? Hold up. Let's see. Does Pitt play Miami? Is that game I can't. If they play each other, I can't wait to watch that. Do they? No. Ooh, we got a Pitt-Syracuse game next week. Ooh. And then they got SMU. Ooh, Clemson, Louisville, Boston. Pitt got a hard schedule. But the difference maker, like I said, has been Desmond Reed, the running back for Pittsburgh, who was at Western Carolina and also did an interview with me. So you guys should check that interview out. It's an amazing interview. Desmond Reed's a great person, great dude. I'm happy that he's succeeding. I'm so happy that he's succeeding at Pittsburgh, and not just succeeding, doing crazy things. 72-yard long run against Cal. 2 touchdowns, 120 yards. He is balling. Game in and game out. It is insane to see. He stepped up when Eli wasn't having his best game. He was 50% on completions. He stepped up huge. I'll just tell you guys what Desmond Reed's stats are this year. Let me tell you what they are. It's insane. He's not just doing it rushing. He's doing it receiving. He's doing it. It's amazing to see. Okay, it doesn't want to work with me. I love when ESPN just doesn't want to work with you. You gotta love that. Desmond Reed has 494 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns, and then he's second in team in receiving with 341 yards and 4 receiving touchdowns. You guys, that is insane stat line right there for a running back. He's receiving, and so he could do it both. Starting to look for throughout the rest of the season to see how Pittsburgh keeps going. Is Pittsburgh a sleeper to sneak into the playoff? Are they? Anything can happen now. Anything can happen now, and that's the crazy part. Anything can happen. Then, last talking point is really nothing. I think I got everything done with you guys. I think everything is good now. We got great games this upcoming week. I know that I will be going live probably maybe Thursday. I may be going live for maybe an NFL game I may go live for. But I feel like this past week has been insane. I feel like this past week in college football lived to the hype more than most people thought it would. I feel like most people thought that Ohio State was gonna beat Oregon, but Oregon came to play and Oregon showed up and showed out, and it was amazing to see. Like, Texas, I feel like Texas. The question is with me now. So say Texas versus Georgia. Say Quinn Ewers is struggling, throws like 2 quick interceptions, and they go down. Do you put in Arch Manning? Do you put in Arch Manning if Quinn Ewers is struggling against Georgia? Do you? Or do you keep Quinn Ewers in there and hopefully he figures it out? In my opinion, he didn't do good against Oklahoma. I don't care what anybody says. He did not impress me at all. It didn't. He really didn't impress me against Oklahoma. And I got to give Oklahoma credit, though. They're still battling. They're still battling every single week, even with all these injuries. But yeah, I just feel like next week we got a lot of games to look forward to, a lot of things to be excited for. If we're gonna be like this upcoming week, I will probably be live for one of the games because I may go live for the Texas Georgia game. I don't know yet. I will let you guys know. I just know that this upcoming week is insane for college football. Can't wait for it, and I hope you guys can't wait for it. But that is the show, you guys. I don't have much more to say. I feel like talk to you guys about everything. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, join the KBM Sports Talk family, and hit that subscribe button. And I will see you guys soon. See ya.